This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, we're going to spend some time with the insane Daryl Wayne as we look at spirituality, really, helping other people, making the world a better place. And we're going to start with our first guest. Her name is Cantin. She's got a new book. It's called Where Yellow Flowers Bloom, a true story of hope through unimaginable loss. I live in Thousand Oaks, and about 5 years ago, with the rains that we have been having off and on, there were just terrible damage up in the Santa Barbara area, about 50 miles from where I live, even closer for Daryl. And there were mudslides, and Kim is going to talk to us about the mudslide that took the life of her husband and her teenage son. Kim, welcome to Late Night Health.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's been 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is life getting back to normal? Has it gotten back to normal?
It's never going to get back to normal, right? But it's moving forward. It's moving forward, and I'm physically more healed, which is great. I had to learn how to walk again, and have a house to live in again, and contents in a house, a couch. I have a couch again. And grief, I think, gets lighter over time. It'll never go away. You learn to adapt to it or integrate your life around it. So I'm just kind of taking every day as it comes, and just trying to be fully present in the moment.
We should say that at 3:30 in the morning, a huge mudslide slid into your house and destroyed it.
Yeah.
As well as losing two of your family members. Your daughter was saved. You were saved. Do you ever ask why?
I don't know if I ask why as much as marvel at how did Lauren and I survive the unimaginable with car-sized boulders that we were swimming with. And as 400 homes were damaged, 63 were destroyed, and all their windows and their glass we were swimming with their glass from their shard windows, and granite and bricks and electrical wires. It's more, how did we survive? And then saying, well, we survived, I think, for a reason, right? There's no reason we should have survived what we did when you see the car-sized boulders on my property. And so I kind of look at it that way. I was really kind of juxtaposed between, this really profound grief for losing my son and my husband and dog, and juxtaposed against this huge gratefulness for our lives, Lauren and Maya's life being spared.
Do all dogs go to heaven?
Oh, I bet they do. Their dogs are pretty terrific, right?
Yeah. You're still you still feel their presence, your husband and your son?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think I do. I was out on a walk the other day, and I just kind of thought to myself, Dave, come walking with me, and so I did that, and I see birds and stuff looking in my little window, and there's two little birds that sit on this electrical wire in the distance, but they sit and look in my master bedroom, and I just feel it's kind of Dave and Jack just checking in with me.
When you had an idyllic life, you Boy Scouts, and you worked with your daughter and her activities, and active in the Santa Barbara community. You taught Sunday school. Has your perception, your thoughts on religion, have they changed? Have you become more spiritual, more religious?
Yeah, I would say that no. I came to the table with a good, strong faith in Christianity, right? And I was always open. Like, I'm not dogmatic. You have to be just one thing or just one other thing. I'm not. It's just, I'm Christian, and So I came with a faith, but I was pretty open-minded. I was open-minded if whatever, if someone believes in a higher power, whatever that is, good for them, gives them hope, right? Believing in a higher
Right.
power gives you hope. And but I've definitely become more spiritual through this whole tragedy and trauma, because I've been witness to so many amazing things that tell me we're more than our physical bodies, and that there's been signs and synchronicities and divine timing that make me know we're more than our physical bodies. And so I would say I'm maybe even more relaxed, right, about formalized religion. I think it's just if people, I just hope people get a sense of a higher power, however that works for them, and work toward good. That's all.
You mentioned synchronicities. Tell us about some of those.
Oh, just just of synchronicities of things that happen. During the search, we went and looked for my son, who was one of the two missing after the mudslide. 23 people died, two of which were deemed missing. One was my 17-year-old son, and one was a beautiful 2-year-old baby girl, Lydia. We'd be out in the search for 3 years with my sacred search team, and things would happen in such a way we got drawn back to the same area over and over and over again. It was just kind of we'd get drawn back to it, and so that was a big synchronicity. I think I had a sister at my church, Sister Kathleen, who's fabulous. She would say to me during the looking for the search for my son, she'd say, all in God's time, and God's time is the right time. And I was really mad at her for saying that, because I wanted him now, right? I wanted him recovered now. And I was like, that's a bunch of hooey. And so, but you know what? She was so right. It was divine timing. By the time we found some of Jack's remains, and we didn't find all of them, I was in a better frame of mind to accept what we found, versus then, laying down in the fetal position and not being able to move. If I had found out what I knew to be found of him, what we found 3 years later, if I found that out, say in the hospital right after the tragedy, I don't think I could have bared that.
I started by asking, is life back to normal? Is life, how's Lauren? How's your daughter doing?
She's the strongest girl I know. I can tell you that much for sure. She's had some struggles with, the trauma surfacing and the shock wearing off. And she's buried alive for 6 hours under 20 feet of mud, with a tiny pocket of air size of a volleyball in front of her face. But she's working through it. We're really dedicated, and we've really invested our efforts on healing. If it's for me, grief counseling, if it's for me and her, trauma, EMDR is this tapping thing that they use for PTSD, to help our nervous system recalibrate, or somatic therapy, which is for that. So yeah, she's pretty remarkable. She's a college student now, and acing it, and but
She's going to major in psychology?
You're bingo. I wanted her to sing, but she's finding psychology fascinating because of everything she's dealing with.
You wanted her to sing?
Yeah, she's a singer, and she finds healing, and I really sense she feels her feet on the ground when she's singing. And so, but she doesn't think that's a pragmatic career. And I said, follow your passion.
Yeah, absolutely. Our guest is Kim Cantin. She's written a book called Where Yellow Flowers Bloom. It's a true story of hope through unimaginable loss. And the purpose of the book is to help you get through your unimaginable loss. This is Late Night Health. I'm Mark Alyn. We're going to take some time out. When we come back, we'll continue with Kim as Late Night Health moves forward. We turn it back to the insane Daryl Wayne. Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We're talking about unimaginable loss with Kim Cantin. Her house was destroyed by a 30-foot, Kim, wall
30-foot
of
wave,
mud.
and boulders.
Would you call this an act of God? I mean, the insurance companies would call this an act of God.
I don't know what I'd call it. It's nothing that I'd recommend for anyone, but um, I mean, I think there was a lot of factors that converged on a night, right? The Thomas fire, the mountainside had no foliage to hold the mountain in place and to hold the boulders in place. Then you get it was half an inch in 5 minutes of torrential rain, half an inch in 5 minutes on a mountain that had no foliage to hold the stuff in place. Then I think 7 water mains burst open on the hillside, unleashing millions of gallons to add to that torrential rain. Then there was a gas leak fire that turned the dark night into an eerie nuclear bomb yellow throughout Montecito. So it was just a series of unfortunate events that I don't think God did that. I think they were all uniquely different things caused them, and they all unfortunately happened at the same time.
When we were in our break, you said, people can understand, dying in a car accident. You can cancer, a heart attack,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Yeah.
something like a 30-foot wave of mud.
I could have never in my wildest dreams, when you think about what's going to get you, would I have said a mudslide. Wouldn't have been on my lexicon. Drowning, maybe, heart attack, stroke, whatever, cancer, maybe, a drive-by shooter, but never a mudslide. And that's what did it. So it was unimaginable.
Would you say this has prepared you for those other catastrophes of life, the cancer, the car accidents, or can you never be prepared?
I think I'm very clear. We're not owed tomorrow, and that just stay in the present and enjoy the present, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow to myself or others. Um, so I really try to just stay in the moment and appreciate what I have in the moment, because life can change very unexpectedly. And I think for all of us, mine happened to be a mudslide, but other people have a lot of other tragedies. If it's a divorce, or if it's a terrible car accident, or losing a job that's pivotal, for their family stability, everyone has their own stuff.
How has life changed for you?
Well, I lost a lot of my identities, right? I was a wife and now I'm a widow. So I'm not a wife anymore. I'm not a couple anymore. Um, I was a career woman and I retired after this. So I don't have my career woman stuff and
And
the
what about your
recognition.
stuff?
Oh, it's gone. It's in the ocean. It's in the ocean.
I mean, family photos and
That was the hardest thing to lose, were the family photos and the children's artwork, and those special gifts that maybe you got from your spouse or from people, like the special things. Um, but a lot of people sent me the pictures they had, and I had a few things in the cloud. So I had some pictures there, but I lost so many pictures, so many photo albums that were on shelves, from my college years or my, younger years. And, when Dave and I first started dating, those are just gone. And it's sad, that's the saddest part.
what happens for Kim now? What's your, yeah, we've talked on the show a lot about mental health and about life purpose. Has your life purpose changed?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Yes. There's, I think, the book by Frankel, which is what Man's Search for Meaning or something like that. And he talks about, it's a pretty famous book. And he talks about, if you have something bad happen, the best thing you can do is put purpose around it, right? It gives it meaning. And so for me, I didn't realize it at the time, but the book has helped me do that, because I'm hearing from others who read the book. And I just got a text from a friend today who lent the book to one of her girlfriends, who then just suddenly lost her son to some weird thing in Alaska with mud. And she said the book has been really helpful for her. There's a missing boy in San Luis Obispo. He washed away 5 years to the date when my son washed away in a roaring river, and they haven't found his little body. He's 5 years old. And his dad called me, and I sent him the book. So I think my purpose is my story, if it can help other people in their tragedy or their trauma and their grief, to have maybe some of the things that I've learned or I've witnessed, I think that puts some purpose to it. So yeah, I mean, nothing that 5 years ago I was considering, because I didn't have the context to consider it.
Grandparent, a friend. Are there degrees of grief? I mean, you've got this huge 30-foot wave of mud. That's one kind of that brought grief to you and your family. What about other family tragedies, events? Are they all on the same level?
That one, see, the one I had was so shocking, right? It was sudden, it was unexpected, and it was devastating because I lost everything. 2 family members, a daughter buried alive, my physical well-being. I had to learn to walk again. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and, a couple surgeries. And so there was and when you have sudden unexpected death, there's a lot of, they say you get really focused. You don't like anything with uncertainty, because right, what happened to me was all of a sudden. So uncertainty is difficult sometimes. I want to plan things out a little bit more, be a little bit more vigilant that way. So are there degrees of grief? I'm sure there are. It matters where you are in it, right? For me, I had so much coming at me at the same time. I was shell shocked. So for example, my grief for my husband was delayed because I had to focus on stabilizing for my daughter, getting out of the hospital, making sure she felt safe, looking for my missing son, whose body was decaying every day that went on. And so poor Dave, my husband, he had to take the back seat. Like, I went to widows group and I did stuff for Dave, of course, but compared to someone who, and I don't want to say just, so say a woman loses her husband to cancer, car accident, and she still has her house, she still has the rest of her family, all that stuff. She can maybe, and this sounds goofy, have the luxury to just focus on that terrible loss, right? And what that means for her. And I didn't have that because I had so much going on at the same time. I had to kind of compartmentalize things. And so my grief's, I'm getting, through it now more, but it's been 5 years. It's delayed. I mean, a lot of people can get through their grief maybe in 1 year till it feels lighter. And I was I was on the 5-year plan. Like the people who go to college extra years, I was on the 5-year plan.
I want you to know you're right. You are young.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah. If I live to 90, I've got a few more years in me, right?
Right. A few more years and you get to go through all that Social Security crap.
Yeah.
That's another trauma, but a different kind. Our guest is Kim Cantin. She is the author of Where Yellow Flowers Bloom, a true story of hope through unimaginable loss. In our remaining couple of minutes, and Daryl, show me how many minutes we have, because I lost track. 0. Got it. All right. So we are out of time. Listen, the book is available at Amazon, Where Yellow Flowers Bloom. And if you're going through anything, any kind of grief, this is something that will snap you out of it. I promise. Kim, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Take care now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Don't go away. More coming up.